believe we have them in the audience. Let me see, who have we got tonight? We have got 2 stars, Catalina Sandino Moreno, and then the other side is Joel Kinnaman. And we have one more empty chair. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's the greatest action director of all time. You have to get out of your seats and give it up for the one, the only, Mr. John Woo.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's really exciting to be here. And first of all, I'd like to thank the production company, Thunder Row and Capstone and Lion Gate for giving us the great support. And then, of course, my idols here, my new idols, Joel Kinnaman. So without them, the movie going to look bad. I also like to thank the writer Robert Leeds and was such a brilliant script, and then it's so smart and so talented. And I also like to thank my editor, Neil Steinberg. He really gave me a great help. He controlled the rhythm, because in the movie have no dialogue. So the rhythm and the tempo and the pace is very important, and then how to draw the audience attention that he had made a lot of big work, It's such a and I'd like to thank him deeply. The whole team, including the Mexican and the American, from somebody from Colombia and French, so we all, the whole team worked together so well, and the stunt coordinator came from John Wick, so they all did a great job. Thank you.
So John, and actually, this is really a question for you all, but let's start with you, John, if that's okay. What were the challenges that you faced in making a film that had a script but didn't have any dialogue?
Well, the challenge was how, how to using some kind of technique or anything visual or sound to make the audience understand, to accept the story, and also moved by the story and by the character. So that's a very challenging because sometimes when you got no dialogue, you have to make them understand, and also make the audience after watching the whole movie, they didn't feel missing anything. And by the meantime, the challenge is about what kind of actor you're working with. Because we need a brilliant actor, like Joel and Catalina, to deliver a great performance. And so I think the good actor made a great contribution.
What does it feel like to be called a great actor by John Woo?
It's alright.
It's not bad. But for both of you, I mean, this is challenging for both of you in very different ways. Catalina, I think you're very much the kind of like the emotional heart and the center of the film. And then Joel, from the moment we see you, you're wearing a reindeer sweatshirt, and then you shift from being like this wholesome family dad into this ultimate killing machine. So as you worked your way through the script, how did you process, how did you channel, what were the challenges that you had as you were working through this film without any dialogue? Because it's all here, right?
Yeah, well, we didn't have to learn any lines, so we saved some time there so we could focus on the other parts of the journey. But I think both me and Catalina realized that it was, some of these really emotional scenes, usually you have the text, and actually the text helps you get into the emotion. It can be a trigger and sort of a catalyst into those emotions. But here, it was like you really just had to get into the. I mean, we did some screaming, so that that got cut out of the movie, but it helped us. But it was yeah. I mean, it was difficult, but in these kind of the emotional scenes that we were going for. It's so important that you have someone with you that gets to those frequencies, and so I was so grateful when we had those scenes that I had Catalina there, and when we sort of helped trigger each other to get to those places. But yeah, it was an interesting journey to have to really try to. I mean, there's always moments and periods of films where you're telling the story, with your inner dialogue, but to have the whole film just be portrayed in that, I mean, it was challenging, but it was, it also, the challenges, but then there's also opportunities, like the way that John shot the film, it kind of made me understand. How to approach it in other ways as well. So, in a normal film, when you have the dialogue back and forth, you have to shoot coverage, and that takes a lot of time. But here, we didn't have any coverage. We didn't need any. So for every scene, John would just design one beautiful shot that told the whole story of the scene. And those were the kind of things that, I mean, of course, that was part of his original vision, but it was a learning process and a discovery process of how do you tell a story with no dialogue.
Catalina, was your experience the same?
Yeah, sort of. I feel that in those emotional scenes, and I feel that in this movie I just cried.
But you're still good at it.
You have to have an inner dialogue. Even though there's no words written on a page, if you turn off your dialogue, the emotion is gone. You have to be always on. It's not like in some sort of movies that you are with someone and you just see the camera where the camera is going. Like in this kind of movie, you have to be always on because
Yeah, it was more demanding. It really was.
It was crazy, and people are like, oh well, you didn't have to learn any lines, so easy. That's the contrary. I think it's more challenging for an actor to, especially challenging emotions. You know, not just sadness, but you know, anger and you know, emotional stuff. I think it's more difficult than just words. So I think you know, I agree with what Joel said about you can challenge those emotions with someone there. Even though we didn't talk, I know that there was someone receiving and giving me the same kind of energy that I was giving. So it was very balanced in that way. So you feel safe giving that sort of emotion.
Yeah, you trigger each other.
It was great.
And did you understand the characters implicitly from the script? Was it something that came when you were both cast and you were working together in the pre-production, or was it something that John brought to the table as you started to work your way through before you actually shot the film?
I mean, it's kind of the thing where, you know, that often happens on movies. You say hi, you know, and then like, okay, now we're gonna play that we've been married and the love of our lives for 10 years, you know, and you hang out with these kids that you get to borrow for a few weeks, and then you throw them around a little bit and try to get them comfortable.
No, but actually, that's a very cute story. The kid that played our son, he was, how old was he? Like 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, there were so many of them. I can't. Which one?
The main
Oh, the main one. Yeah.
I do remember my kid. He was 7. He died. He was the one that was shot. But it was so interesting because there was this moment where you know he wanted to shoot the actual where he gets killed. And this kid is in the floor. We're like, shh, you're gonna get killed. So just fall asleep. And the kid is like, okay. And then they took so long. I don't know why, the explosions or the whatever was happening. And the kid actually fell asleep. So when he woke up, he was filled with blood. Blood everywhere. And John was like, okay, we're ready. And the kid is like, what is going on? It was so, and plus, you are crying, oh my kid is dying, and the kid is like, no, I don't want to die.
And I'm like, shut up, I'm trying to act.
That was a quite interesting moment where the poor kid, I mean, like he didn't understand. The mother didn't tell him that as soon as you open your eyes, you're gonna be bloodied up. You need to stay there. He was freaking out. He was like, what is going on? I want my mom, and he wanted to stand up, and Joel was like, no, you need to die. Johnny's ready.
And also, the kid did not speak any English.
No.
You know, so my Spanish is so.
I was there to save it.
Yeah.
You're so innocent.
John, for you, this is last time you were here. You told us how you shot The Killer, and it had no script going into it. This film is different. Obviously, there's a script, but there's no dialogue. When you read this script and you received this script, did you instantly paint the film in your head? Did you understand how everything was going to work? Because this feels like rich territory for you and a playground that you've played in before.
Well, when I read the script, I already got a picture in my mind. But I just feel it's just like other movies, like other script reading, and just without dialogue. So I just shot the film normally. But one thing I realized, I need to change the style a little bit. So so that's why you didn't see any pigeons in my film. Because I want everything is look more realistic and tone down the violence a little bit. Like Godrock, this character, he's an ordinary man. He's not a superhero. He's not a super fighter. he's a real man. So it's a man who is responsible.
John, the movie's pretty violent.
A man with love of his son and his family. So at this point, I had a picture. I said, try to make it different from what I have done before. My movie usually, a little bit over the top, kind of just a little bit. But but in the meantime, since they have no doubt, and I figure out the music. And I think the music is a better language in the film. I must say I need to thank my composer, Marco. He really did a great job. And when the guitar music, the thing on the Saturday night, it was played by his son. His son played guitar.
You didn't cover him in blood and shoot him, did you? You didn't cover him in blood and shoot the son, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
So I'm sorry. I mean, everybody's so involved, So I think that the music should take credit, and not only the song. The song is, I think, the movie is about saying the song. Yeah. So I think that besides the visual, the song is very important. When is the bigger song and lower song, it makes a lot of difference. So
it's almost another character. The sound design and the construct there, and also the music as well. And you're talking about the music. Some of the music earlier on, when the film is set, it almost feels kind of Lalo Schifrin-esque, like Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
So was that one of the inspirations?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is because thinking back to, so Dirty Harry was obviously a reference and an inspiration on your earlier work, and in particular Hard Boiled. And Joel's character feels very much like Tequila from Hard Boiled. Yeah, so as you were constructing this film, with those references that you were pulling on, were you thinking back to Dirty Harry? Were you thinking back to, Joel, are you the new Tequila? Is that what we're doing with that?
That sounds good. I'll take it.
So talk about the inspirations. Your inspirations within this, both from a music standpoint and from a character standpoint.
No, I didn't have any inspiration. So it's anyway, all we need is just real performance.
And so this performance from Joel, Joel, so we've seen you've been physical in your movies for a lot of years, going all the way back to the Snap of Cash, RoboCop, Rick Flag, we were able to screen Suicide Squad here. This one, though, I think above any of the others, you got your ass handed to you, and you probably kicked more ass than we've ever seen before. Can you talk about the physical demands of this? Because it looks really burly.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of been an accumulation of working with the same stunt guys. I've been training a lot with like 8711, the Chad Stahelski and John Wick guys, and on this one, because it was a character that shouldn't really have any skills, so what we were working on was me more being able to, do more some of the uglier stunt stuff, like falling in stairs and just taking the beatings, and to just sort of get that gritty feel, and also because John really wanted to have long takes without, so we didn't want to cut up the action scenes. So then we sort of designed the action after that, that sort of requirement, so it doesn't have to cut. But that also means that you can't, cut to the stunt guy doing it. So we sort of designed the action around the things that I could do. But yeah, it was a lot of work. But I really enjoyed that part of storytelling. It's if anyone has been in a car crash or in a fight, you know that the perception of time just really warps, and like a couple of seconds can feel like a lifetime. And there's so many things that goes on, and if you've been in a fight, then you know that you can have that interaction with another person, and you both can feel like it's going through an eternity, but it's actually maybe 10 seconds in real life. So I find that part of action and storytelling in action interesting, and trying to make it realistic, just trying to get some of it, like a sense of what it could feel like.
And so John, for you, as you're designing all of this action and constructing this, you said before that the films that you made, Better Tomorrow, The Cherry and Fat Movies, Hard Boiled, The Killer, you made those films with a sense of anger, because it was crime was out of control, and you were making these films in response. These are your statements against the crime and the gangsters. So some of those themes we see here, is it fair to say that the anger that you had that fueled you back then, are you feeling that anger again today in making this film?
Yeah, I had, there's some kind of anger, when I shooting the action. Of course, I have 3 kids and myself. When I feel, when the movie about the little child being murdered, again, so I feel anger as well. So I sent to, I asked my son team to design some more, little more, violent, the action.
And realistic, right?
And the one thing I want to explain why I like to take the long take and during the fight. Most of the fight scene I will take a long take, and they decide that we are short of time, so actually we don't get much time. And the other thing, I'm trying to make all the action look more of a powerful and realistic. So it actually they were real fights. They were really hitting the face, punching the guts, and and then you no need a sound effect on the set. Pop, it sounds very angry, and so the other, just
when we hit each other for real, that was by mistake. I had to clarify that. It was it happened, but it's by mistake. Yeah, and we say, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
How long was the shoot?
What?
How long was the shoot?
What was it? 10 weeks. How many weeks was it?
Oh, the whole movie?
It felt like 3 months, but I think it was 2.5.
It was about 38 to 40 days.
Oh, it was.
And how much of that was how much of that was spent in the action sequences and choreographing all of that?
Is it 2 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I came down 3 weeks before we started shooting.
Did it feel good getting back into the action? Because this is a very intimate film. The last sort of 15 years or so, the films you've been making, the Crossing, those two films, Red Cliff, those two films, those are big, sweeping, sprawling epics. This feels far more contained and far more intimate. Was that a decision that you wanted to make? You wanted to make something more contained?
Well, I must say, I already get fed up with all the big budget movies. And, one of the reasons why I left for a while, they went back to China to make some film. Because once I established as an A-list director or big budget movie director, so they only send me the script and all the action. This action movies, and those much a smaller budget but a good script, they have never seen it to me. Because I love drama, actually. I love drama. I love human drama. And I can make a pretty good comedy as well. You don't really believe in me. Oh, John Woo is a big director. Okay. I always try to let me try something smaller. But my agents and my partner, and no, you only can make a big movie.
That's a good agent.
And but in the meantime, since I'm Asian, and I'm Chinese, so there are some topics like something about history, the American history, or the racial problem, something about the lower class, society. Those kind of script they have never said. When I got those script, they also say, "Oh, he's Chinese." Anyway, since I've got so much fun by shooting Silent Night. It was my first independent film. Like the producer said, I got a lot more freedom. Actually, it was right, and then I didn't get much of an interview from anyone, and then the producer, never came into the set, So on my own, I can, and I work with my actors so well, and especially with Joel and Catalina. They sometimes they come up with a very good idea, and then okay, let's change it, and then forget about the script, for the moment, and then we change whatever we want. Like the scene they are thinking about the sun. All of a sudden, Joel came into me. John, I want to do a movement like a sleeping my son, but he's not there. Okay. I came with the ideas. Originally, the scene should have a lot of flashback. The father and son, they bring the toys together, and then change the idea right away. And nobody else asked why, and we just did it. Okay, I come up with the idea, let's do it all in one shot. Okay, you are lying in the bed, and then the camera pushing into your thigh, and then we put a kid, beside you, and then the camera pull back again, and then you touch a little boy, and then when the camera pushing again, whole shot is so beautiful, and all that really exciting for everybody, especially with the camera. The camera crew, the DP, and the operator, they feel the kind of shot is so meaningful and so challenging.
I think that was one of my favorite moments of my career. That's what John was describing.
Did you feel that
That's how we
freedom?
work, so I feel so much, creative freedom by for doing that. And even though there was sort of money and sort of time, but still we got the fun out of it.
And Catalina and Joel, did you feel that freedom on set as well? Was that liberating? The ability to kind of go off script and to create on set?
Yeah, I mean, I think because there's also no dialogue, so there's always like what's the story that we're telling in this scene, and I think it was easier for ideas to come up of how do we tell the story, but the scene that John was describing, I don't know if you remember from the movie when I walk into the kid's room and I sit on the bed, and I mean I couldn't believe that that was like film master, in action, where I was like, maybe it should be like a flashback or something with the kid, in the bed, like, and then John just designed on the spot, the whole shot of how we're gonna do a flashback, but in one shot, and then we had to, you call it like Hollywood when you're like faking something into the shot, so we had to Hollywood in the kid, and while we're like trying to get the kid in, the camera moves in like close on my eye, so we can't see that there's team members trying to like Hollywood in the kid. And the kid is always like squirmy too, That's and I was trying to cry, so that's squirmy and acting, but then finally he stopped squirming, so that was great.
Catalina, similarly for you, because your work less physical than Joel's, but still equally demanding because you're such an emotional core to this film. Did you enjoy that freedom, or were you locked in?
No, not at all. I think John would, he would tell us what was happening, and if you had an idea, you can throw your idea, which we did a few times, and he was, as he said, he was very open to our ideas, and as he said, he did it, because nobody said no. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't work, but it was actually very cool to have the freedom to explore. It was really good.
Yeah, sometimes we play music on the set. We do something like there's a scene she coming home and looking for her husband. Going door by door, opening the door, this everything. While we're sitting, we play the music so she can follow the rhythm. And it some help, but sometimes.
Oh, it worked a lot. Yeah. What?
No, I just remember. Being stupid on set.
So, John, I'm not sure when we'll have you back again. Obviously, we would love to have you at any time. Is there anything that you want to leave us with as we close out this night from Silent Night, or anything from your career that you want to share with the audience tonight?
Well, I have a big pleasure working on the film, and I think all the actors should take credit, and even my little daughter over there. She played the band. Me and myself and all the actors and even the stunt team and the cameraman, everyone was, they feel it's a really challenging project, and it was a very tough movie. It was a tough movie to shoot, but I'm sure everybody's so glad, the result looked pretty good. And I hope the audience will like it, and also, the movie is sometimes not about how much money you shoot it. It's how much wisdom you use for the film. You're shooting the film. It's not about money. Sometimes some people, they are spending $1 billion, to make a film. I think and all kind of movies, they all is worth to do it and worth watching. As long as it is the story about you and mine, so like Silent Night is all about everyone have the kind of same kind of love, the love of the family. So that's actually is the main theme for our movies. Thank you.